On this day, 75 years ago, one of the greatest baseball players in history said farewell. New York Yankees first baseman Lou Gehrig delivered a speech now known as the Gettysburg Address of Baseball, in which he famously said the words, "Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth," even though at the time he wasn't so lucky, battling amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which of course later became known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Gehrig's legacy is still strong and still inspiring baseball players and coaches everywhere, including here in our region. Lou Gehrig won 6 World Series championships with the Yankees and posted a career batting average of .340. He was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame shortly before his death, and the Yankees have retired his number 4 uniform.
Mountain News at 11.
2 Eastern Kentucky firefighters are recovering after their fire truck fell through a bridge and into a creek. Were you legitimately worried that you were going to die?
It crossed my mind.
4 University of Kentucky football players are suspended from Saturday's game following a shots fired incident on campus.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Shane Smith. As we head into the remainder of the week, the forecast looking nice for most of it. However, some showers, thunderstorms, and cooler weather will be here by next weekend. We'll talk about that in more detail coming up. Mountain News at 11 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
A close call for 2 Eastern Kentucky firefighters. Good evening, I'm Tanner Hesterberg. First on Mountain News at 11, 2 firefighters in Martin County say they are lucky to be alive tonight after the fire truck they were riding in fell off a bridge and into a creek. Members of the Warfield Volunteer Fire Department responded to a house fire early this morning in the Pilgrim community. That's about 10 miles south of Warfield. That is where the bridge collapsed, sending 2 firefighters to the hospital and totaling the fire engine. I talked to them about how they managed to stay calm in the scary situation. Fire officials say the truck cannot be repaired. The loss of the truck combined with the loss of equipment in the collapse is setting the department back around $300,000. Warfield firefighters say they'll have to rely on departments in nearby Inez and Kermit, West Virginia for help until they can figure out how to replace what they lost. University of Kentucky police tell us they know who is responsible for a shots fired incident last night on campus. Now 4 UK football players are suspended from the South Carolina game Saturday. WYMT sports reporter Jamie McCracken has more on who was suspended and what head coach Mark Stoops had to say. Jamie. Federal officials announced today Hazard Community and Technical College is one of nearly 270 community colleges across the nation to receive a portion of $450 million in grants for job training. HCTC and its partnering colleges are to receive $10 million during the next 4 years. As WYMT's Matthew Rand reports, college officials believe the grant money will translate into more jobs for Eastern Kentucky. Officials say they will begin setting the expansion into motion by January, and the first online courses could be offered as soon as next summer. You can find more information on HCTC's Learn on Demand program at WYMT.com. Eastern Kentucky's declining coal industry is leading to fewer students in Pike County classrooms. Staff at Shelby Valley High School say in the last 4 years they've lost about 70 students. The principal says that costs the district funding from the state.
The biggest thing is that we're losing our greatest resource here in Pike County, which are our children, and when they move out, they tend not to come back.
The superintendent says this is a district-wide problem. Since the start of the school year, nearly 100 kids have left the Pike County School District. West Virginia state mining officials are citing Patriot Coal for violations during a coal burst that killed 2 miners in May. Miners Eric Legg and Gary Hensley died at the Brody mine in Boone County, West Virginia, when coal shot out at them. A report released today indicates a similar burst happened 3 days earlier. That burst covered a worker in coal up to his waist but did not hurt him. Mining continued the next day. Combined with the take-back day from the spring, officials were able to dispose of nearly 2 tons of drugs. Straight ahead on Mountain News at 11, scrutinizing the Secret Service. Questions remain about how a man scaled the White House fence earlier this month. Now the director will face a congressional hearing. The director of the Secret Service is scheduled to testify before Congress tomorrow about a number of security breaches at the White House. In one of the most recent, a man carrying a knife jumped the fence and made it well inside the executive mansion before he was stopped. CBS's Craig Boswell has the latest from the White House.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Another night of chilly temperatures. Good evening, I'm Tanner Hesterberg. Thermometers are set to drop into the teens overnight, and a few schools have already canceled classes for tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Shane Smith is tracking this cold snap, and he has the first look at our forecast. Shane? Talks of legal moonshine in Letcher County. Whitesburg City Council held a special session this evening to discuss the possibility of converting the old Kiva Motor Company into a moonshine distillery. WYMT's Matthew Rand was there as council members voted to allow the plan to move forward. Matthew? All right, Matthew, thank you. A two-vehicle crash this afternoon on US 421 on Pine Mountain sent one woman to the Harlan ARH. The highway closed for nearly 1 hour. Troopers say 24-year-old Kaylin Collins was traveling northbound as 60-year-old Bernd Gruner was traveling southbound. That's when Gruner's car slid on a patch of ice, causing him to lose control and hit Collins's car head-on. We do not know Collins's condition at this time. A faculty member at Hazard Community and Technical College is sharing the story of how he broke up a fight on campus yesterday. Victor Gaynor jumped into action when he heard two students fighting near his office. One of them had a box cutter, and Gaynor was hurt as he tried to split them up. Gaynor says he does not know what would have happened if he had not stepped in.
It's just, he could have took somebody's life. You know, he could have easily killed that young man. He could have easily killed me. You know, because, you know, when you got a box cutter in your hand, you swinging it, you just never know where you're going to hit somebody at.
Now, this isn't the first time Gaynor has potentially saved someone's life. If you'll remember, back in 2010, he stopped a man who was trying to stab District Court Judge Leanne Stevens at the Circle T in Hazard. An early season matchup between two top 5 college basketball teams tonight at the Champions Classic in Indianapolis. WYMT Sports Director Josh McKinney joins us now for more on number 1 Kentucky versus number 5 Kansas. Josh, thanks. Well, imagine getting ready to start your freshman year as a college athlete and finding out you have cancer. That was the reality facing Samantha Lay, a Corbin native who planned on competing for the track and field team at the University of the Cumberlands this year. Samantha fought her cancer and won, but she told me her journey might not be complete until she makes it back to the track.